Hello everyone, welcome to Roadwarden? Roadwarden? It's one word in the game title. I'm trying out the demo for this. I had not heard of this game, and I saw somebody say that they had recently replayed it for the third time and were still enjoying it, and I looked on the Steam page. It looks interesting. I didn't find out much about it. I try to go into games mostly blind if I've decided they're interesting enough to try. I get the feeling it might be a kind of like choose your own adventure / multiple choice adventure game, but I'm not really sure. I think there's some sort of management concepts as well. I don't know. So we'll see. A lot of words, a lot of reading is what I've come to expect from the Steam reviews, at least. So this is still part of my arc of trying to take story games more seriously and not just be a pure mechanics hound like I used to be. I think this music has gotten louder since I did the sound check. Let me turn it down a bit. Okay. So this is the first screen you get when you start the game. So I don't know. There's a kind of somewhat compelling vista of a hilly plains and clouds behind. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Okay? So it says enter, but you're not supposed to press enter. You're supposed to click enter if you say so. Settings. Narration text speed? What does that mean? Like, there's some text that is considered narration, and that is the speed at which it is displayed, I guess? Describe attitudes. Essential for the new players. Okay, well, that's me. Shows a bit of fluff when the game is launched. Oh, that was the thing about craving the shroud of the forest silence. Deaf support. The narration describes sounds in greater detail. Oh, that's nice. I don't need it, but what's the difference here? Matches the illustrations. All right, see, these are much more high fidelity fonts. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll leave it on basic. That was the setting it was on when I started the game, right? Okay, so I mean, somewhat unsurprisingly, the sounds or the settings are all on reasonable levels by default. I adjusted the volume in my operating system, so I'm still a little concerned it's too loud, but I think I'm just oversensitive about that. So, a new game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses. That's a sudden pivot. And if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. And I guess here's our first multiple choice. I leave the safety of the city walls, or I still have my doubts. I mean, I've taken on this job. I personally have some doubts, but I've taken on the mantle of this character who thought it was a good idea to leave, so I guess that's what I will do. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. But? The gate is ajar, presumably that's leading to the camp not being safe, right? It may keep away the goblins and pebblers. Pebblers? People with pebbles? But not beast folk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. I guess that's my mount. My mount is some kind of beast named a palfrey. Can I see a picture of me somewhere? I don't see it. Well, wait. I'm on a horse. So is Palfrey a real-life horse breed? I thought I was getting back to the Gostak here. Palfrey. A saddle horse other than a war horse. Okay, new word to me. Did I pronounce it right, actually? Let me check. Palfrey. So, there's a camp. No blood, no wolves. But no people either. And the gate is open. This is suspicious enough. I think I should look around. I don't think I should just immediately flee. I think I want to look around cautiously. I don't necessarily want to sneak to the gate. That could arouse suspicion if someone is here and sees me. Let's just look around. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. Wait, what noise? I thought there were no voices or anything. Just, oh, like the chirping of birds we're hearing now, maybe? That kind of thing? General background noise? The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. So, this hasn't advanced the story in any way. I just looked around. I learned a bit more of what's around, but I still have the other three choices. Okay, I mean, I'm a little spooked. I'll sneak to the gate. Oh no, I see something over here. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Okay. So I'm at 3 out of 4 health just from the long ride, I guess. Not from anything that happened to me as a result of this action. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. Okay. I approach the gate slowly. That is what I said. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. I mean, they don't look like that much of a threat, and I need a nap. Yeah, okay, I'll say hello. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. Alright, let's look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson. Oh, what is a gambeson exactly? Is it a hat? It's some, like, Western clothes, right? Gambeson. A medieval garment of stuffed and quilted cloth or leather, originally worn under the hauberk as a pad. Okay, so it's light, leathery kind of body armor. But hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. I guess I'll introduce myself. I was sent here to meet your lieutenant. Or your squad. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Okay. 30 minutes before dusk. Okay. Supportive and cordial. A joke or a witty comment. Distanced. Intimidating or vulnerable. Huh. Well, I don't necessarily want to be any of these. I want to be like neutral, but that's not quite the same as distanced. Like, I'm tired, but I'm not vulnerable. Please let me sleep in your tent. Right? This is my job. I'm out here road wardening. I don't want to intimidate them. They're the people I came to meet, or what's left of them. Distance seems plausible. I don't think a joke is a good idea. The rest of their squad might be dead. They might all just be out hunting, in which case, hey, maybe a joke. But probably not. Friendly. Supportive and cordial. I think that and distance are the reasonable... I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could make an argument for any of these. But the two that feel closest to right to me. Like, if I were going to phrase this myself, what might I say? I might say... I was sent here to meet Dan, your lieutenant. You know, what's up? Is he home? Are you guys the soldiers? Is that right? I don't know. Is that friendly? I guess we'll try friendly. They waved to me, sure. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? Oh, I could have checked. I wonder if I could have, after indicating an attitude, this was like maybe committing to it, and I could have clicked a different attitude to change what I might say. Worth thinking about. The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps toward you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. She's the lieutenant. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant, now highlighted or italicized. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. How do you pronounce this name? Talia? I'm Talia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. So... I mean, I'll shake her hand. If it's a trap, they could kill me anyway. How do you want people to call me? Sure. I don't know if this is the default or random. I'm not going to fight over it. I'll be the canonical Leto. Her grasp is confident, the shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents, she steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. Okay. I noticed, by the way, like, all of the choices I've been given in this game, I feel like they're trying to instill a sense of wariness or fear in me, right? Even if I'm not taking these actions, my character is constantly saying to me through the screen, hey, should I be careful? Am I afraid of this? That's an interesting way to build the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no problem, but sure, I should get used to it. I assume did I get here from the city in like a day? Or have I been sleeping on the ground the whole way here? I don't know. I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. Really? That's interesting. That isn't something you would say in most, like, modern, contemporaneous Westerns, right? Most people could ride a horse with some practice. So I wonder why they're saying here that not many people could do it. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. Yes, I know what a horse is. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. I do agree with that. Like, without like a... I mean, the saddle... Are stirrups the things that hang down from a saddle for you to put your feet in so you can climb on? I think so. Without stirrups, I certainly couldn't get on a horse. And even with, I would have a little trouble, I suspect. Like, I'm not in great shape. But I'm tall enough. I could probably get on a horse, maybe. If it were well-trained, it would kneel. Well-trained and used to having children ride it anyway. Interesting. But they're this narration is sort of intending to imply to me that in this universe, horses are unusual. I think. Right? Like, the fact that it's even describing to me what a horse is and how people interact with horses. Obviously, the player doesn't need that information. They know what a horse is, right? So, I don't know why I enjoy the writing so far, I think. I'm getting much more into, like, trying to understand why the writing is what it is than I ever do when reading something. It's just that tiny bit off, like, what I expect to make me think, huh, why are they doing it this way? And so far, I'm a fan, I guess. But maybe not all of the inferences I'm drawing are correct. But so far, I'm being given impressions of a world that is fearsome. Horses are unusual. You know, people don't like to travel outside. That was told to us explicitly. But my character, even a hardy outside person, is wary of just like a couple tired people in a camp. Alright. Anyway, from every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquests in the south, so I guess that must be where we are, the Dragonwoods. Conquests in the south. Okay, so we're sort of an imperial nation of some kind. In the north. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey, it was palfrey, right? Needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. I'm being asked how to address my horse's anxiety. I couldn't understand. It took me a second to see what's the point of these two. Like, why am I talking about my horse's feelings? It was at the beginning. It's a little weird that, like, the beginning. I don't know. The obvious way to write this might be to put, like, your mount looks around at the bottom of this. I don't know. Anyway, I think I should be friends with my horse. I'll try to help it be at ease. It takes a few steps toward you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse snicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. Okay. Oh my gosh, choose a class. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Oh, Crimson Corpse Eaters. Okay, so what is the phrase in media res? I think that's how you pronounce it. That's like we're being dropped into the middle of a story. I left the city, but everything that happened between the city and here has been glossed over, and we're now like hearing more about it, I guess. We fled Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Couldn't cost more than a dragon bone. A literal, actual bone from a dragon is currency, or is that the name of a particular coin? Don't know. And are dragon bones currency, or is this I would barter a dragon bone, which is useful in its own right for some other reason? Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Alright, am I a fighter, a mage, or a scholar? Oh, I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I'm always, mage appeals to me. I read fantasy and science fiction, and magic appeals to me, but I don't necessarily, I don't know. I like, as a Roadwarden, I think of myself as more of a fighter, right? It's a little surprising that scholar is an option, so like, tell me about this stuff. As a fighter, you have an easier time in physical challenges, thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes. Not what. I couldn't understand what the word what is just wrong there. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes. I mean, it's not wrong. It's you could use it dialectically. There's like some regions in America, for example, where it's not in my dialect. How could I construct a sentence where what means which? Like, it ain't half as big as the dog what bit me, you could say, right? That's not, like, formal American English, but there are places where you could say that. And maybe this is written in the voice of someone who actually does use that kind of speech. So I don't think I can necessarily say that what is an error here. It might be a hint to my character's background, or the world's, general tone of speech. But it did confuse me when I read it. Okay. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes, which opens unique opportunities during some social interactions. It's the best class for RPG beginners. Am I one of those? Who could say? The fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. By the way, the other thing is, like, I'm giving them some benefit of the doubt on this what, because the writing has so far been, like, very correct. Like, there haven't been anything else that has made me think, oh, this is translated to English, or something like that, right? And there have been interesting shades that have made me say, it's being written this way for a particular reason. So I'm inclined to think that although this surprised me, it might be on purpose. The mage uses pneuma? Is that a real word, I wonder? Can I look that up? Alright, and the fact that they use the word like gambeson, right? Like, okay, pneuma is a real word in theology. It means like Holy Spirit. Or soul. In classical medicine, it's an invisible liquid or vapor held to travel throughout the body and be necessary to and associated with life. So it's mana, what we would call these in sort of classically RPG type games. But it is a real word that isn't just mana. Alright. A versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage, you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no pneuma left when you need it the most. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you. Than me, the player. Okay. Helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. That's so interesting. These are referring to, like, yes, this is outside the game, in a way. Like, outside the universe of the game, describing what these things are. It refers to game mechanics, it refers to RPGs. But it refers to you as, like, the character, right? And then suddenly here, you is the player. And they talk about my character separately. It's true. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than I personally do. I'm trying to puzzle these out just from odd choices of wording. Anyway, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge. Also, that's a strange choice. I get not wanting to pick a gender, but usually, since the character is a person, you would say their knowledge. I guess, though, there is a little bit ambiguous here and could refer to the locals? The sentence doesn't make sense, but syntactically it would imply, like, impress the locals with the knowledge of the locals if you put there here. And you have to rely on semantics to realize that's the wrong way to parse the sentence. So I guess referring to a character as an it is, like, acceptable and makes the sentence parse more clearly. Interesting. And you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. Also, carefulness is another weird word here. You would expect caution normally. Huh. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like this Roadwarden character seems like the kind of thing that would attract warrior-type folks, right? Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I'll be a fighter. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case. Okay. You take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Okay. So I have some armor. You'll stop even a life-threatening strike. With your current gambeson, it's the best protection you can get. Okay. So my inventory. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each new item you receive, as some of them can have unusual applications. Click on or mouse over? Food rations. They consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruits, and water, which spoil slowly and don't require additional cooking. So I have 2 of those. Right. I don't have 2 supplies. I have, under the category of supplies, 2 food rations. Okay. My merchandise is 5 pouches with coins, or a pouch with 5 coins, I guess. The city artisans make coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. Okay, so it's kind of both. The dragon bones are themselves currency, but also they're coins. They are valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. My equipment is a gambeson, a padded defensive jacket made of linen filled with rags. It's the cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective and as a result very common. I also have the travel set. All sorts of useful tools. A well-crafted battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters, while having a weapon made of steel makes it clear that you are someone to be reckoned with. I have a crossbow as well. Difficult to make and valued for their usefulness. Crossbows can be used even by an inexperienced traveler and can pierce most scales and armors. Okay, so if I click on one of these... Oh my god! Talk about words. It's difficult to buy a crossbow outside of a city craft guild. They require complex mechanisms made by I know what a crossbow is. I don't necessarily want to read all of, this many words for everything out loud. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna read this to myself, and you can pause if you want to catch up. Half a minute to reload, yeah. So it's like a crank crossbow, maybe. Sometimes enchanters alter them. Okay. I mean, I think I know what an axe is. Heads are made of stone, bones, chitin, and massive seashells. Mine's made of steel, isn't it? Handles are almost always made of wood, yep. Oh, I see. This thing in what the heads are made of is discussing the axes that are owned by households. Made of metal, yeah, it's a good axe, sure. My supplies. Fresh snacks spoil fast outside the cellar. Yeah, so food rations are only when necessary, and you can often fill up at, wherever you stay the night. Okay. Interesting that the amount of nourishment I have might give me bonuses or penalties. I'll read this out loud. I want to know how. I asked earlier how the currency works. So, when it comes to trade, there's barely any connection between Hovlavan's, Hovlavan's marketplaces and the inns of the countryside. While city officials keep track of the value of different goods and oversee the legitimacy of used coins, the villages prefer to barter or exchange their resources for work and other favors. A simple coin is worth quite a lot among merchants. A single coin is worth quite a lot among merchants. It allows you to stay and eat in a shoddy city tavern for about 5 days. For 10 coins, you'd buy a decent bow, for 20 a sword, and for 100 a squad of mercenaries will be willing to face a family of trolls. Okay. This doesn't tell me that much about the coins themselves, more than I could read here. But it does tell me how much a coin is worth. Gambeson, yeah, it's a padded jacket. Lighter jackets. Akatans are worn under heavier sets. Thicker ones are worn alone. Okay. My armor's not in the best shape and could use some more work. The travel set. All sorts of odds and ends that you've taken on this journey just in case. A rainproof cloak, a set of bone needles and thread. Okay. An iron knife, a blade sharpener, a tinderbox, and a couple of tallow candles. A bunch of rags used to make torches, as well as a flask of oil. A pair of protective gloves made of thick leather. ... Just a bunch of other stuff that isn't even worth mentioning here, maybe. And I guess I must have 3 bolts with this, maybe? Alright. Ooh, my journal. nothing. Very well, I return to the soldiers. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I mean, I'm hungry. I'm not gonna snub them. Why be such a jerk, right? I'm a very folksy fighter. Just I don't know if I would use the word gregarious, but whatever. I'll sit down with them and join the meal. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. What exactly is millet? I've heard of it before, but I sort of associate it with more like wheat. Am I wrong? Is it like some animal product? It must be, right? Like fat to thicken it? And you have various small-seeded annual cereal and forage grasses. Huh. So why is it hog millet? Maybe it's from some grass called hog grass or something? Dunno. Some strange-looking cereals and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Is beyond their duty. Meaning they don't have to do this for me. They are for each other, not necessarily for me. I think is what this is saying. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlements stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Here's what eating is, okay. My nourishment is 2, yeah. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find, yeah, okay, got it. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with... I decided to call her Talia? I think so. I got a nourishment. It's easier for you to overcome physical struggles. So 2 is neutral. 3 is more full, obviously, but like enough to get some benefit. I wonder with 4 if I'd be stuffed and like weaker in some way, or even more like full up. Like I just had a power meal. What do you call that? Power. There's a word I can't think of. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Why is this in bold? Is that my new name for him, or something I'm now inferring about him? I don't know. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leads forward. Maybe it was in bold because he's who I was about to talk to? I don't know. The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. Now this really shouldn't be a comma. I don't think I can put this on, like, world-building choices. A semicolon would be fine. A period would be fine. You could even use a dash. Or you could say his legs shaking nervously. This sentence just isn't actually right. Oh well. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. What do you mean he sounds like it? Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. Again, very guarded, my choices. I guess I'll share what I consider to be relevant. If nothing else, I, the player, will get to hear what is relevant. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Hovlaven to keep it under control, you are warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. Tell me as in what these guys do? Oh my god, there's so much to read. So, like, the trend in a lot, or not the trend, the tradition almost, in RPG-style games is to, like, click through every dialogue option, making sure you don't miss anything. And, like, make sure you keep talking to someone until they repeat themselves. I find that very tiresome and, like, bad. I don't know if it's bad writing. I don't know. Bad game design? Like, I hope that at some point they'll tell me, like, you've talked enough, or what one choice I make will lead to, you know, changing these choices or something. I don't want to be allowed to click all of these, because that doesn't sound like fun. And so I probably won't do it, but I don't want to be allowed to do it either. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Good question. I don't think I should start with asking for a new rope. Yeah, what happened to the previous Roadwarden? That seems relevant to me. Talia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife without looking at you. Yeah, kind of giving distracted teenager vibes. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. A tablet he was writing. Maybe an actual scholar? Who knows? Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Talia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Mainly, maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone's keeping him in a basement. The man carves with passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Is that like a lizard? His lizard mount, maybe? He rides a dinosaur? Saurian, I guess, not Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast. Palfrey is fast and reliable and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Talia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Oh, wait! She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hovlaven. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So, you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? That's a bit of a leap. Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We're meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlavin together? We're meant to stay here till fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell you what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlavin together? You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Havlavin in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. New journal entry, find the Roadwarden. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. His shell. Like, you're talking about his armor, right? He wears mail, that's what you're talking about? He is a human, right? He's not a creature with a shell, I think. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long, red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So, find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left, just let me know. So did I actually get his stuff? No. So is that in my journal then, is you'll get his stuff if you do this? Yes. If I find out what happened to him and tell Talia, I'll get his stuff. Got it. Now I still see a bunch... Oh. Before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about the peninsula and the rope. So these are the things I must ask. The rest is optional, I guess. Okay, well, nice of you to tell me. What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be, what, 3-4 days? When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Havlavin officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages. Collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. No ships can get here. So, okay, they're saying that we're a day from the coast, but this part of the coast is just like, you know, a random beach or cliffside or whatever. There's no dock for a ship for some distance. You would have to walk until you get to a coastal village to interact with a ship. Okay. Oh, and then this explains it. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. So, we know that there have been conquests in the south. Presumably, Havlavin has been the state. I mean, I don't know. Havlavin is a city, I think. Maybe it's doing the conquests, or maybe it's part of a larger sort of nation that's conquesting. And we're north of where the conquests were, but still further north. there's some coastal towns, such as, and there's a roadside inn, which is not part of a town. It's just at the roadside, Pelt of the North. So further north than that are coastal cities, I guess. Coastal towns, whatever they called them. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? Well, I assume it costs money, idiot. The man clears his throat. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And, well, he turns toward Talia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Leto, but are you a devout soul? Okay, I have some choices here. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm a part of the United Church. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. So, like, this one particular monastery is an order, and they're about truth, I guess. So using "an" instead of "the," I don't think they're saying, oh, there's lots of orders of truth around here. I think they're saying, oh, I follow truth, an order, and this order is into truth, compared to, like, the United Church. If this said the Order of Truth, even if it's only referring to one monastery, it would be fine to call it the Order of Truth, but by writing it that way, I, the player, might think the Order of Truth is another big organized religion. And I think they're telling me it's not. It's just one monastery. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of Shell... Okay. So shell maybe is just the word they use for body here, like what contains the soul? It must be. Pneuma and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. Huh. Hard to say. How do I envision this character? Right? I envisioned myself first as a fighter, because I'm a Roadwarden, and I don't know much about Roadwardens yet. That seems like the kind of thing you would have to be a hardy individual for. I don't think it's a good idea to just be, like, a pagan or an atheist in this kind of world. These two probably wouldn't kill me for it. But it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. If there is a united church, it's probably dangerous not to be a part of it. We'll see. What appeals to me, like, the Order of Truth and the Fellowship are kind of appealing. I kind of like, my fellowship. Freedom, a belief in freedom and community. Sure. Oh, I see. She hesitantly looks away. I don't know much about that river of faith, but I'm sure we're not that different. I'm a Unite myself, she says with that sort of pride in her voice, so she follows the United Church. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite like yourself. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. see. So I'm an eremite. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and tradition grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids. Why is that in italics? Necromancers and blood mages. The bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. So that's what's northwest of me, necromancers who use zombies to chop down trees or something. I've been here for an hour. I'm having a good time so far. Nothing's happened, though. I'm just being not enriched. Something in lore, and I'm being steeped in lore. I mean, I kind of want to ask if there's a monster that could catch my horse, but like, even if they say no, I probably should be wary, right? And I don't want to ask if they talk to the necromancers. It just seems like bad business. They're not. She's united anyway, right? They're not supposed to talk to him anyway. So how about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. So, we're on a peninsula. North of us, there are some coastal cities, I think, and a roadside inn. Which direction is the peninsula going, is my question. I think the big city is south of us. Maybe? I think the peninsula went northwest, maybe, is what she said in the previous one. I know that the other city, the necromancers she's talking about, I think, are to the northwest. I don't think I completely understood whether the peninsula goes that direction or what. But if east of us is, like... She's not mentioning the coast, right? So maybe the peninsula goes west? And northwest along the peninsula is, I don't know, very strange. Any monsters? Oh, we saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins, but we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Talia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so small that the flying creatures keep the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around. The animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. Yeah, I'm not going to ask about the necromancers. Alright, I have to ask about rope. You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. I'll take a closer look. A fine rope. Buy it for 0 or just take it. And offer some food in return? I see. So I could have offered some food in return, but I just took it because she offered it to me. You know, I guess it could be good for relations to offer some food, but it's not like I have a lot. I just have 2 ration packs, right? Talia, how did you become a lieutenant? Both of these are going to get to the question of what happened to the old lieutenant. I feel like they would both lead to a very similar story, but I'll phrase it this way. That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of... oh, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Havlavan chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Well, or his successor's successor, and so on. Not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line. I mean, she could have been second in line, or she could have been seventh in line. I imagine we're going to find out about how someone else dies when I ask this. I'm not going to just unprovoked say, by the way, it sounds like your friend was an idiot. Basically, yeah. She says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. I'm not going to ask about your squad. If she wanted to tell me, she would have by now, in that last story. Anything I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. Okay, I'm just reading this out loud and not paying enough attention to what I'm saying. Let me go back over this. Merchants, there's extra stop for beasts, between the inn and the southern villages. So the southern villages is where the coastal villages are, maybe? I'm not sure. 'Cause isn't the coast to the east? I'm a little lost. I'm on a peninsula. The coast should be in 3 directions. 2, I guess. Maybe 3. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where would you... I already know their mission. It was to protect this area, right? If you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Talia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Okay, northern road, northwest of the inn. Okay. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. That's an attitude thing. Don't click joke. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. All right. I think I know everything I need, but it's been an hour. What is happening, by the way? Every time I tab out, I see the screen flicker a tiny bit. I don't know if that's showing up in the recording or what. That's usually... mostly that was me checking definitions of things in my browser, but now it's checking the recording time. Yeah, it's been an hour. I haven't done anything, but I'm enjoying it. I mean, I have done things, right? I've engaged in discussion. And that seems to be a lot of what the game is about. And I'm enjoying analyzing the language and the world. So I'm happy to keep playing this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.